Neglected tropical diseases are a diverse group of communicable diseases prevalent in tropical and subtropical regions of the world. WHO has recognized 20 conditions under the umbrella of neglected tropical diseases. More than 1 billion people are affected globally. In Kenya, over 25 million are estimated to have one or more NTDs at the same time. The NTDs that are endemic in Kenya include dengue fever, guinea worm, hydatid disease, foodborne dermatitis, human African trypanosomiasis, leishmaniasis, both visceral and cutaneous, leprosy. I believe most of us who are Christian can recall this disease noted in the Bible and still exists with us today. Lymphatic filariasis or elephantiasis, onchocerciasis or river blindness, rabies. While we were talking with CEC, he noted that parts of Seme are affected by rabies, schistosomiasis, scabies, and other ectoparasites. The ectoparasite that comes into our mind is jiggers, soil-transmitted helminth, trachoma. Those are some of the NTDs that have been reported in the country. Kenya is committed not only to controlling endemic neglected tropical diseases, but eliminating them as a public health importance. In the last 10 years, we can reflect on the following achievement. The national government has steered the control by developing policies and strategic plans for setting the benchmarks towards the global targets as well as local. Indeed, Kenya became the first nation in Africa to launch the first 5-year multi-year plan that ran between the year 2011 to 2015 for the integrated control of neglected tropical diseases. This was followed by the second plan, which lapsed in 2020 and ran through 2016-2020. To address the unique nature of the many NTDs in the country, the ministry launched the Breaking Transmission Strategy 2019-2023 for the 4 preventive chemotherapy, and also recently in 2021, the National Plan to Control Leishmaniasis 2021-2025. In actualizing the objectives of this strategic plan, the ministry has continually provided both capacity building and technical assistance to the NTD endemic counties. These endeavors have resulted to progressive upscale of intervention in the last 10 years.
Let me take this opportunity to thank you for coming this morning to recognize this day and to give it the importance it deserves. My sincere thanks and gratitude goes to the National Ministry of Health, implementing and collaborating partners and all stakeholders for selecting Kisumu to host a national celebration of this global event. We are extremely privileged and honored by this noble gesture. Oh, sorry. Now, why do you give me this hat if you don't want me to wear it? Anyway, please be assured of our commitment to addressing neglected tropical diseases. 1 in every 5 people, ladies and gentlemen, around the world are affected by NTDs. And over 50% of the people affected by NTDs are found in sub-Saharan Africa. That is over 50%. And we are part of that sub-Saharan Africa. This comprises close to 1 billion people distributed all over the world who are victims of the so-called neglected tropical diseases. In Kenya, Kisumu included, the most common NTDs are endemic in 26 out of the 47 counties in the country. This is more than half of the counties. And Dr. Ganda and my colleague from the ministry have already expounded on this. Out of the 20 NTDs listed by WHO, 16 have been reported in Kenya. These diseases, despite their prevalence and their chronic state, receive very little funding from governments and partners alike. And hence, this gathering here. In fact, they are almost entirely absent from the global health agenda, and at the community level are associated with vulnerable persons, stigma, and social exclusion. During last year's commemoration, the world agreed to the Kigali Declaration and committed to mobilize political will, community commitment, resources, and action, and secure commitments needed to end the suffering caused by NTDs. This declaration, ladies and gentlemen, recognizes that individuals and communities are at the center of responding to NTD. It is on this foundation that we are herein gathered today. The World NTD Day, ladies and gentlemen, is a very pretty young commemoration, only on its 4th anniversary as of today. This year's theme of this commemoration is called Act Now, Act Together, Invest in Neglected Tropical Diseases. Act now, act together, and invest in neglected tropical diseases. It builds on the Kigali Declaration and is quite timely and appropriate, as it rallies all players to make their voices heard and to play their role in ending neglected tropical diseases. Kisumu contributes to the 1.7 billion people worldwide who are suffering from NTDs, despite the major strides that have been made in healthcare service delivery, interventions, and health products and commodities. And we are proud of that. Therefore, it is in the interest of my leadership to address this through prioritization of NTDs and resource mobilization. Today, here and now, Kisumu County accepts the rallying call to invest in the fight against NTDs through a holistic and an all-inclusive approach. We recognize that in order to deliver against the targets outlined in the World Health Organization 2030 NTD Roadmap and Sustainable Development Goal 3, we must deliberately and actively consider NTDs in routine programming and service delivery.